Welcome to Power Players, where we cast a discerning eye over the most consequential developments in global politics. I'm Hossein Khanbegim, and today we shall examine one of the most polarizing and, dare I say, misunderstood agreements of the modern age, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or as the Vox Populi would have it, the Iran deal. But how did this historic accord come to pass? What were the stakes, the motivations, and indeed the underlying tensions that drove it to the forefront of international diplomacy? Stay with us, and all shall be revealed.
Welcome to Power Players, your source for in-depth international political analysis and breaking news reviews. Join us as we dissect global events, decode headlines, and explore the intricate web of geopolitics. Subscribe now and stay informed.
Let us begin with the essentials. What precisely is the JCPOA inked in July 2015?
Today is an historic day. It is a great honor for us to announce that we have reached an agreement on the Iranian nuclear issue. With courage, political will, mutual respect, and leadership, we delivered on what the world was hoping for: a shared commitment to peace and to join hands in order to make our world safer.
This landmark agreement emerged after nearly 2 years of arduous and often fruitless negotiation between Iran and a cohort of nations known as the P5+1. This group, comprising the United States, the UK, France, Russia, China, and Germany, meaning 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council plus Germany, expended considerable diplomatic capital in the pursuit of this accord. The crux of the matter is this: Iran has long maintained that its nuclear program is a peaceful one, designed for nothing more than energy generation and scientific research. However, skeptics in the West, and let's not forget Israel, whose view on this subject are very empathetic, have long suspected more nefarious ambitions, namely the pursuit of nuclear weapons. These concerns led to years of heightened security over Iran's nuclear activities, placing the country at the center of global security concerns. Now that we understand the background, let's dive deeper into the motivations behind the JCPOA.
Iran's relentless march towards a nuclear weapons capability. So President Obama acted. He reaffirmed his vow that Iran would absolutely not be permitted to have a nuclear weapon. He marshaled support for this principle from every corner of the international community. He made clear his determination to go beyond what sanctions could accomplish and find a way to not only stop, but to throw into reverse Iran's rapid expansion of its nuclear program.
For the United States and its allies, the imperative was unmistakable: to prevent Iran from crossing the nuclear threshold.
Well, the JCPOA, when we did it, was a single-purpose deal. Its sole purpose was to prevent Iran from imminently acquiring a nuclear weapon. At the time we did the deal, we were told Iran was just months away from a nuclear weapon, and judged by that criterion, the JCPOA has been successful. It has prevented Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon.
A nuclear-armed Iran would pose a dire threat not only to the volatile Middle East, but also to global security. For regional actors like Israel and Saudi Arabia, the prospect of nuclear-armed Iran was nightmarish, to put it at its mildest. For Iran, however, the stakes were more immediate. Crippling international sanctions had devastated the country's economy, causing inflation to soar and unemployment to rise. The JCPOA represented a potential economic lifeline, offering sanctions relief in exchange for limiting its nuclear program.
We're not asking anybody to trust Iran. Iran doesn't trust us. We don't yet trust them. And who knows what the future brings. So this agreement is built on real-time verification now. Iran, in order to get any sanctions relief, has to reduce its program very...
But beyond economic benefits, there was a potential internal power shift at play. President Hassan Rouhani and Foreign Minister Jawad Zarif, reformist figure in the Iranian government, saw the JCPOA as a strategic opportunity to strengthen the political standing. Success could tilt the domestic balance of power away from hardliners, creating an opening for broader diplomatic engagement with the West.
Let me just try to put in perspective how we believe a change in approach may be able to address our problems in the region. We tested it once and it worked. Maybe it can work again.
From the American perspective, the JCPOA was not solely about curbing Iran's nuclear capabilities. Under President Barack Obama, the deal was seen as a way to influence Iran's internal political dynamics. By empowering Iran's reformists, the United States hoped to support a moderate faction within the Iranian political landscape. If successful, this would be the first significant interference in Iran's domestic affairs since the 1979 revolution, a subtle but profound shift in US foreign policy towards the country. The absence of an American embassy in Iran and the long history of hostile US-Iran relations had given Washington little leverage over Tehran for decades. The JCPOA offered a rare opportunity for the United States to indirectly influence Iran's internal politics, aligning with Washington's broader goal for stabilizing the region. Having understood the motivations, let's not explore what Iran had to concede to secure this lifeline. But what precisely did Iran relinquish? The JCPOA imposed significant constraints on Tehran's nuclear program. Iran agreed to reduce its stock of operational centrifuges from 19,000 to a mere 5,000, and to limit uranium enrichment level to something 3.5%, well below the level required for a nuclear weapon. The heavy water reactor at Arak was effectively neutralized, preventing the production of weapon-grade plutonium. In addition, Iran slashed its stockpile of low-enriched uranium to just 300 kilograms and subjected itself to a stringent inspection regime, with the International Atomic Energy Agency, known as IAEA, given access to both nuclear and potentially military sites. The concessions were monumental and demonstrated Iran's commitment to the deal. Despite the intense political pressure from hardliners within the country and outside of the country, particularly in the United States Congress. In return for these concessions, the sanctions relief promised by the JCPOA allowed Iran to re-enter the global economy. By 2017, foreign direct investments had reached $5 billion, a significant increase from the $2 billion in 2015, before the agreement. Inflation fell from 40%, yes, you heard it right, 40, in 2013 to around 9% at the end of 2017. However, the economic boom Iran expected was tempered by several critical factors. Despite the deal, American investors were still barred from entering the Iranian market due to ongoing US embargo, limiting Iran's access to one of the world's largest sources of capital. Furthermore, while the SWIFT sanctions were technically lifted, Iran's financial transactions remained constrained. Many global banks, wary of US penalties, were reluctant to engage with Iran in a meaningful manner. It means the flow of funds into and out of the country never returned to pre-sanction level. In short, while the JCPOA provided some relief, the Iranian economy did not experience the full-scale recovery that had been promised. Investment increased, but not to the level Iranian officials had anticipated. And many of the fundamental barriers to full economic reintegration remained in place. Inflation, though controlled for a time, continued to be a persistent issue. Then came May 2018, when Donald J. Trump, his view of the JCPOA unequivocally hostile, announced that the United States would be withdrawing from the agreement. Trump decried the JCPOA as fatally flawed, arguing that it offered only temporary restriction on Iran's nuclear activities while turning a blind eye to other concerns: Iran's missile programs, its support for proxy forces, and its ambition in the region.
I think the whole Iran deal is the dumbest deal that you can imagine. I think it's going to go down as one of the worst deals in the history of this country, maybe of the world. It is a total and complete catastrophe. And, you know, it's beyond even talking about it. So it's hard to believe that people actually, do we have negotiators? Do we have anybody that knows what they're doing? Not only the 24 days, which, by the way, it's much more than that, because the 24 days to start the clock takes a long time. Not only the fact that they still have our prisoners, every single aspect of that deal is incompetent. And it's a deal that shouldn't be approved. And the amazing thing is, even if it's not approved now, they get $150 billion plus, and they're going to use that money for terror all over the world. It is one of the great dumb deals of our time.
But did this gambit succeed? Far from it. The reimposition of sanctions wrought havoc on Iran's economy, but failed to bring Iran back to the negotiating table. Instead, Tehran responded by methodically unraveling its commitment under the JCPOA, incrementally expanding its nuclear activities in a calibrated game of brinkmanship. And where does that leave us today? The answer is ominously clear. Iran's nuclear program is now more robust than it has ever been. Despite sanctions, Tehran has accelerated the enrichment of uranium and resumed the usage of advanced centrifuges, inching ever closer to the possibility of nuclear weapon. Diplomatic efforts under the Biden administration have flattered as both sides remained locked in a tense standoff. And so, dear viewer, the JCPOA stands as more than just a piece of paper. It is a testament to the delicate art of diplomacy and to the ever-present specter of global conflict. It is a saga of competing interests, regional rivalries, and the internal struggle for power in international politics. In the end, the story of JCPOA is far from over, and the stake both for Iran and the world have rarely been high. Thank you indeed for watching Power Players. If you found this exposition enlightening, do be so kind as to like, subscribe, and ring that elusive bell icon so you never miss an episode on the ever-shifting landscape of global politics. And please share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Your voice, as ever, is most welcome. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.